episode of the Verde Valley Experience. I'm your host, Jennifer Cohen. Thank you so much for joining us today. Of course, another great lineup for you, lots of information, and it's the holidays. So take this moment. Happy holidays, everyone. I hope that whatever you're doing, whatever you're celebrating, and whoever you're celebrating it with, it turns out to be an absolutely wonderful time and a very, very blessed new year for you. So on our show today, we have Trish Wood, who is the president of the Verde Valley Voices, along with Jake Baker, who is one of the co-founders. They're going to be in the studio and looking very forward to beginning the rehearsals for their spring concert, which is going to be coming up. Trish will tell us how we can be part of that upcoming concert and join over 80 different talented singers and musicians and get to be a part of that. So rehearsals are going to start beginning January 7th, so you want to make sure you stick around for all that information. Sherry Marks and Kathy Yorba from the Women of the Moose and the Moose Charities, they're going to be here to talk about the Moose Lodge's New Year's Eve dinner dance. You know that's going to be a good time. And they're also going to fill us in on a couple things you may not know about. One is Moose Heart, which is a residential child care facility that is home for children and teens in need, and Moose Haven, which is a continuing care retirement community, both of which are operated by the Fraternal Order of the Moose and the Women of the Moose. That's good stuff. Amy Brown, financial advisor for Edward Jones and also a chair for the Cottonwood Chamber Commerce Board. Blah, that's a huge title. I don't know how she fits all that on her name tag. She's going to drop into the studio and she'll be discussing the Arizona State Tax Credit. Now that's a lot, so you're going to want to stick around for that because there's often a lot of confusion about that, but it is the most wonderful, easy to manage program and it benefits those in our community. So you want to make sure that you take the time and think about who in our community is in need when you start thinking about who you're going to do your tax credit for. So Amy's going to be here to help us with all that. And then later on we'll head to the foot of Oak Creek Canyon and meet with Claire Leischer at the home of Phoebe Aromatics. We'll join Claire during a distillation process where she'll tell us all about distilling essential oils and their many types and uses. That's very interesting. I wish you could have smelled it. It was so wonderful. And at the end of our show, we're going to be ringing in the holidays with a special performance of the Verde Valley Voices. A wonderful group of talented folks will fill this studio with holiday cheer. I'm really excited about that. So thank you so much for joining us. Let's get started. And I'm here with Trish Wood, who is the president of the Verde Valley Voices, and also Jake Baker. Thank you so much. Appreciate what you've done by co-founding this wonderful organization.
Thank you.
So now I know, Jake, you are just itching to give us some background on the Verde Valley Voices. I know you know everything, the official historian. Please do. Tell us how the Verde Valley Voices got started.
Well, we started back in 1997. There were several of us, about 18 of us, who took a class at Yavapai College. We wanted to be in the chorus, and it was located here in Cottonwood on that campus. And we didn't get enough people to cover all of the various parts that we wanted to sing a lot of times. So we kept trying to get people to come and join us. And we finally decided that most of us who were singing at that time already had college degrees, and we really didn't need the Yavapai College credits. So we thought, well, let's try it as a community chorus type program. And when we changed from that to a community chorus, we immediately doubled our size.
Wow.
And began growing each year as we became more well-known. Our whole purpose wasn't to train great musicians. It's really just for people to enjoy singing and enjoy music. I think people who sing enjoy the music so much that they want to share it with other people. And we've grown. At one point last year, we had 115 people in the chorus.
Wow, it's wonderful.
And from all ages. I think our youngest was 12 years of age, and our eldest was around 92.
Nice.
So we have quite a spread, and I think there was a really beautiful combination of sounds when you get the younger, youthful voices mixed in with the more mature voices. It gives you a special sound, and I think that's one of the reasons that it makes our group so good. Yeah. And also, we hope that when we sing, we also bring that kind of joy to other people. But mostly, we started it for our own enjoyment, and we don't really feel that we're in any way professional, but we think we come pretty close.
Oh, I bet you do. I bet.
And we've had several very fine people serve as our presidents, like Trish. Mary Kay Johnson was one of our founders. I would name some of them, but I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. I forget them. We had Jim Harmeyer, and I'm drawing a blank all of a sudden. But
You've had lots of them, very qualified,
Ray
very
Haggard,
talented
and
people.
yes,
Yeah.
and Lee Moore, a whole bunch, and most of us had our wives with us as part of the group.
Nice.
And we had so much fun singing. We started out in small groups. We did numbers in Sedona, and we did concerts in all of the little communities around, and began to get people from all of the Verde Valley. And that's why we decided to call ourselves the Verde Valley Voices.
That's great.
We are incorporated as a nonprofit organization. And like I say, we grew from 18 to 115 last year, and now we're about 85, I think.
That's wonderful.
And just enjoying it so very much. Beverly Hall was our second director. Our first director was Joy Simons.
Right.
She also was one of our founders.
That's great.
And she was working for Yavapai College at that time, and doing a master's degree and having a family.
Wow.
And
I know.
so when it just got too much for her to do all that directing and directing the high school music.
Sure. Yeah. Well, it's a lot to take time out to do
She decided she needed to get it someone else.
Yeah.
So she resigned, and that's when we hired Beverly Hall.
Right.
She stepped in an emergency, thinking maybe it would be just for a short time.
Right.
And stayed
It turned out to be 15,
like
yeah.
15
wow.
years.
You guys have been going for such a long time. Trish, how long have you been president?
This is going to be my second year.
Oh, right. Now, you guys just had your big holiday event, your big holiday concert, which is always a huge, huge hit. So congratulations on that. And now you're going to start rehearsing for your spring concert.
Yes.
What are you looking for? Are you looking for anybody special?
We are open to having everybody from all ages to all different levels of singing experience. Those people that don't have as much experience, we provide mentors so that you feel like you're not, not so alone.
Sure.
So
yeah, get past your little shyness.
we like to think about ourselves as family.
That's great. Well, it certainly sounds like it with the wives and almost multi-generational and stuff like that. That's really wonderful. There's a great website, verdevalleyvoices.org. You can check that out. It's got the schedule. It's beautiful, verdevalleyvoices.org. And if you want to send them an email, verdevalleyvoices@gmail.com. And if you want to become a member, you can give them a call at 928-554-4800. So it sounds like you could always use some more people.
Absolutely.
Which is awesome.
And if I may interrupt for just a second, we're hoping we can get more and more people involved, especially those who had to drop out for some reason.
Right.
We have a great new director, Caleb.
Yep.
He is
Will be
just
here.
marvelous, very professional. It isn't an audition choir. You don't have to audition. You just have to show up.
Right, which is
and
great.
you'll be part of us.
And speaking of show up, you guys are all going to show back up in the studio at the end of the show and give us a wonderful performance. So I'm so excited to see you again in a little bit. Thank you so much for giving us the history and talking to us. And I hope you guys get out there and get started with your rehearsals for the spring concert. And we'll be right back with more Verde Valley Experience, so don't go away.
When the city lights fade our lights get brighter. When your night needs life, ours comes alive. When you want to do something different, we say, come out and play. Come experience the new Mountain Springs Buffet. All you can eat starting at just $7.
Cliff Castle Casino Hotel, voted #1 casino in Arizona 15 years in a row.
At Gettle's High Desert Mechanical, rather than do lots of things, we focus on doing one thing right. We serve climate-challenged people. Gettle's starts with a free system evaluation to identify the best AC and heating equipment for your home or business. Professional installation, warranties, and service after the sale. If you're climate challenged, then we're the right choice. Gettle's High Desert Mechanical, the name to trust.
Hello, welcome back. I'm now here with Sherry Marks, who is the Moose Charities Director, and Kathy Yorba, who is the recorder for the Women of the Moose. We got some good girls in the studio today, and you guys are going to have a New Year's Eve dinner. This is so exciting. That's just way too much fun. Yeah. Sherry, tell us a little bit about that.
Well, we have Happy Days coming for our band.
Wow.
And dinner happy hour starts at 6 o'clock. Dinner's at 7. Prime rib dinner and all the fixings to go with that, and it's $25 a person.
Wow, great.
New Year's Eve, of course.
Yes, well, that's the most fun night to go out and have a party, isn't it? Now, and it benefits the moose?
Yes.
That's great. That's
the women
really
of the
great.
moose.
Do you guys get all dressed up?
Of course.
Yes, to the nines.
Oh, very good. Are there masks involved? Is it a costume ball?
Not a costume ball. It is one of our more formal dances. And then, of course, we have all the party favors, the little tiaras and top hats and things like that at the end of the evening.
Of course, of course. And where's that going to be held again?
At the Moose Lodge.
At the Moose Lodge.
Clarkdale.
In
That's
Clarkdale.
1051 South Broadway Street, Clarkdale.
Very nice.
Verde Valley Moose Lodge.
There you go. And what time does that start?
The dance starts at 7. Dinner's at happy hours at 6. Mm-hmm. Dinner's at 7, and the dance starts at 8.
Great. You got it all covered.
Yeah.
Can't be dancing on an empty stomach, you know.
Right. Prime rib.
What kind of music does Happy Days play?
They do kind of a variety. It's more country than anything, but they're pretty well known in the local area and liked as well.
That's great.
Yeah.
Do we need to get tickets ahead of time? Can we show up at the door?
You can show up at the door. We kind of like to sell as many as we can in advance so we get a head count. We don't want to run out of food.
Yeah.
We've never done that, but you never know.
Okay.
So yeah, but you can get them at the door.
Okay, good. And if we want to get them in advance, can we give you a call?
Yes, please.
Oh, great. And I've got your numbers that I pulled off the website. You can give Sherry a call at 301-4485, or you can talk to Kathy at 300-5535. So that'll get you hooked up for your tickets to make sure they've got space for you, because that's a really, really good time. Awesome. Now tell us a little bit about the Women of the Moose. You hear about the Moose Lodge a lot, but as far as the women, you're the ones who are holding them all up, right?
Correct.
Of course. Of course.
And you're the recorder for the Women of the Moose, which you said is
I'm
like
the recorder. That's
every
equivalent
person.
to the treasurer, bookkeeper.
Yeah.
Yes.
All the paperwork stuff, the exciting stuff.
Mm-hmm. The Women of the Moose is the female component to the Loyal Order of Moose. Mm-hmm. Our organization is a fraternity of men and women. Our main goals and objectives are our children at Moose Heart, our seniors at Moose Haven, and the community service events that we hold and services that we provide.
Sure, sure. Sherry, tell us a little bit about Moose Heart. I don't know if a lot of people have known about this, but I saw it on your website. It's really, really awesome.
Oh, I'm glad you looked it up and read a little bit about it. But Moose Heart is where the children go that need a place to live. The parents might have died and the grandparents can no longer take care of them, or maybe the mom just doesn't want him in gangs and things like that, and so they want to put him at Moose Heart. The Moose Heart does not take custody of the children, but they take them in, and they live in single-family homes, much like we do.
Wow.
And there is our association for the moose is Arizona, New Mexico, and so we have an Arizona, New Mexico home there, and it is decorated in southwest on the outside of the building. We didn't get to go in it; they were renovating at the time that we were there last May. June.
2 years ago.
And because we went to a conference and it was real near there.
Right.
And so we do fundraisers here. We send back money. Our dues and things like that go to help support the children at Moose Heart.
Yeah,
Their needs are all met.
Amazing.
They raise them. They send them to college. They teach them, some kind of technical trade so that they can work while they are going to college.
Yeah, it's
all
a
the way
nice,
through.
wholesome, home-like environment, which they may not have gotten some other way. So that's amazing. And by supporting your fellow moose, both male and female, you'll be helping to support these amazing children who are definitely going to be needing that help. And it's all volunteer for you guys.
Yes, we are all volunteers.
That's something else to put your life aside for some young person. So thank you for the work that you do with Moose Heart. That's pretty amazing. And then on the opposite end of the spectrum, as far as age goes, you have Moose Haven, which takes care of our seniors.
Moose Haven, yes, correct. Just in Florida. It was designed for the retired members of the Loyal Order of Moose and the Women of the Moose. And it's called our City of Contentment. A beautiful, beautiful campus where the residents reside in they have a large home, and we are now in the process of smaller residences, condominiums, much like you might get in a retirement community if you just went here in Cottonwood.
Sure, except it's in Florida.
It's in Florida, and all of our residents' needs are provided for. Their health care, taking them to the grocery store. There's a beauty shop on premises, a golf course. They hold all kinds of activities. Halloween is a big thing there, Easter egg hunt, and even their dog's needs, or their kitten. Yes.
That's amazing. So the moose and the women of the moose just take care of everybody.
Yes.
From kids to cats to dogs to elderly folks to, it's wonderful.
Like the moose in the wild.
Right.
Yes.
Like the moose in the wild.
Really?
Take care of their younger and their old.
Do they really? See, I was not aware of that. Wow. That's great. Is that why you picked the moose?
That's why moose was the symbol.
Really?
Because just like the majestic moose in the wild, the younger of the group will surround and do what they call the circle, defending circle.
Oh.
And so the youngers will keep and protect the elders and youngsters of their group.
I did not know that. Well, that is amazing. And now you guys are doing it in the human world.
Yes.
That is really wonderful. See, I had no idea. I love this show. I get to find out all kinds of things I didn't know.
And we recently had a senior dinner that we hold annually here in the Verde Valley. It's free to any senior in the Verde Valley. Right. And so not just in Florida do we take care of our seniors and children in Chicago, or outside of Chicago, but here in the Verde Valley as well.
Well,
we're very involved with the Scouts and the Teen Center.
Wow. That's awesome. You guys got it all going on.
Yes.
We recently also had an appreciation dinner for first responders where we had 6 local fire departments that participated, and the Cottonwood and Sedona fire departments, or police departments participated in that, and I know Jerome was there, but we did a nice dinner for them, and we did award certificates for their chiefs or captains picked.
Great.
Who the winning participant was going to be.
That's wonderful. You guys are so involved in everything in the community.
All about our community.
Thank you so much.
We love our community.
If you want to get involved with the Moose or the Women of the Moose, you can check them out. Do you guys have a website that they should look at with information?
The Verde Valley Moose Units.
.org.
VerdeValleyMooseUnits.org.
Or they can give either one of us a call.
There you go. Give them a call. Get involved. That's awesome. I love it. thank you guys so much for being here.
Thank you,
Kathy,
Jen.
Sherry, I
Thank you.
appreciate it. Thank you for the work that you're doing as the Women of the Moose, and tell the men I said thank you too.
You're very welcome.
Can't leave them
Thank you.
out.
Definitely.
Come and visit us sometime.
And don't go away, because we'll be right back.
Headaches and back pain are two of the top reasons people choose Mosing Chiropractic. Dr. Mosing also treats symptoms of numbness and tingling, as well as those injured in auto or work accidents. Dr. Mosing uses gentle chiropractic techniques, as well as electric muscle stim and cold laser therapies. Call Dr. Mosing today at 634-0733. No spine left behind at Mosing Chiropractic.
When the city lights fade, our lights get brighter. When your night needs life, ours comes alive. When you want to do something different, we say, come out and play. Come experience the new Mountain Springs Buffet. All you can eat starting at just $7.
Cliff Castle Casino Hotel, voted #1 casino in Arizona 15 years in a row.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. Those we use all the time with hardly a thought. Those that are silently standing by to save our lives. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere we go. Many mobile devices will now bring you wireless emergency alerts, real-time information directly from local sources you know and trust. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know wherever you are.
And welcome back to the Verde Valley Experience. My next guest is Amy Brown, who is a financial advisor for Edward Jones, and another huge job. She's also a chair on the Cottonwood Chamber of Commerce Board. So this is a really important lady, so I'm glad she's here today. Amy, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Well, as they say, it's the holiday season. What comes after the holiday season?
Tax season.
Tax season! That's not fair.
I know.
Why is that? It should be some other time of the year. You get through the holidays, you're all fat with eggnog, and you have that wonderful glow about you, and then you go, uh-oh, it's tax time.
Yes, it is.
Wow.
Get it done and over, and then enjoy the rest of your year.
Exactly. Get it done and get it over with. So one of the really, really cool things I noticed when I moved to Arizona is the Arizona tax credit.
Yes.
That is an absolutely amazing program, and there's so much involved in that, and there's so much thought behind it, and then there's a lot of thoughts that you might be having in your head. No, I can't take part of that, or oh no, I won't do this, and what about blah, blah. And there's all this stuff I notice that goes around when I talk to other people about the Arizona tax credit. So if you can please explain what the Arizona tax credit is and how we take part in it.
Certainly, I'd be happy to. I'm going to start off by saying I'm not a tax professional, so I'm going to encourage folks to always defer to their tax professional about their specific situation. But at the Chamber, there is, like you said, so much information out there, and there's a lot of maybe misunderstanding about how it actually works. So we worked with one of our member CPA firms to compile a flyer that's available on the Chamber website that explains a little bit more about what state tax credit is. So essentially what you're doing is, if you have state tax liability, is by donating to one of the eligible organizations, you're diverting your tax liability. So as an example, if you're a married couple filing jointly and you owe $800 in state tax credit, you could elect to donate to one or more of the working poor eligible organizations up to $400, and that would be diverted. So instead of sending it to the state of Arizona, you divert it to the organization. The other $400 could be donated to one of our local public schools. And then again, it's diverted to the school, and we wouldn't send it to the state of Arizona, you divert it to the school.
See, that's something that I didn't know. I knew that you could do one thing, like we always do a school, but I didn't realize that, and then since you still owe more taxes, you can actually take more credits by choosing a different organization or charity.
Exactly.
That's amazing. And can you keep going until you're out of taxes, so to speak?
Well, you can. There are some limits. So for working poor tax credit, for single folks, or if you're unmarried but head of household, or you're married filing separate, then you can divert $200 of your tax liability. If you're married filing jointly, you can divert $400 of your state tax liability for working poor. Same for public schools, same for Military Family Relief Fund, and all of those contributions need to be made by December 31st. So here it comes, surprise, tax day, you realize you have more tax liability than you've already diverted. So there's also the private school tax credit. They give us up until April 15th to make that contribution.
All right.
And that one is even higher. So for single, unmarried head of household, and married filing separate, it's $1,053. For married filing jointly, it's $2,106. So
Sure. Okay.
it ends up being a really nice deal.
Right. Okay.
I think the greatest part about it, if I may, is that by making the donations locally, we make sure that our tax dollars stay in our community rather than sending our tax dollars to, the state and allowing them to decide where our money goes. We get to decide.
Well, there you go.
So it's really a great program.
Yeah, you get to make the decision to where your tax dollars are going to go in our community and who they're going to help. The power is in your hands. I mean, that's really cool. That where the money's going to go for. You're paying taxes anyway. You might as well benefit somebody in the community. So, for example, say I'm a singly. I owe $800 in taxes. So my maximum allowance per donation is $200. So I could do a $200 tax credit to a school. I could also do a $200 tax credit to the working poor. And then another $200 tax credit to the military organization. And that's amazing. See, I'm making the choice to where my money is going, which is a really empowering, because as far as, I don't know how you feel about taxes. Everybody feels one way or another about taxes, but we all got to pay them. But having the choice of making a decision where your money is going to go and who it's going to help is a wonderful thing. Who came up with this idea?
I don't know, but they were brilliant.
They were brilliant, but it is confusing. I have to say, it does make folks nervous. When I started here in Arizona, and the first time I saw it, it was at a school meeting, and they were saying, give us your money, give us your money. And all the parents were getting nervous, like, but wait, I don't think I owe enough taxes, and what happens if I give you too much, and I don't want to give you too much, so I'm not going to take part. I'm going to go hide under the table. That kind of thing. I did notice a lot of folks who had some misunderstandings about the program, not participating in the program out of fear of paying too much money. Now, what happens if I didn't owe $800 and I did my tax credits for $800, and it turned out, well, gee, I only owed like I would, but if I only owed $600, which would be something, then what would happen?
So the additional $200 that you had donated could be carried over for the next 5 years. So in the following year, if you didn't have any tax liability at all, then it would carry over to the next year but only for that 5-year span of time. And then you'd use it up over that 5-year span.
Right. Oh, so that's great. So the next year would come around, and I would owe, say, $800, and I would have that credit for that extra couple hundred that I would take off of what I owe already, and then still have money left over to choose an organization of which to give credit for.
Yes.
I'm amazed. It's such a great government program. That's really super.
It is.
And I know that the Chamber of Commerce has done a lot of work on this, and you guys have put out the most wonderful list of just the folks in the Verde Valley who are eligible for you to give credits to. So you can check that out at, let me look at this so I don't get this wrong, cottonwoodchamberaz.org, and you'll see the tax credit list there. And again, that's just the folks in the Verde Valley. I mean, around the state, there's a lot more, so if you want to spread it around a little more, you can spread the love around Arizona. Look elsewise, and you'll find even more people. It's truly an amazing program. And of course, always talk to your tax advisor if you've got questions. That's what they're there for. Give them a shout and find out and let yourself rest at ease. But knowing that money that you're going to give up anyway is going to go to somebody here that really needs it. And there's a tremendous amount of people on that list.
Yes.
It's really something.
Right.
And I'm so glad that you're here to help explain this all.
Sure. Well, if folks do go to the Chamber website, they'll find this list right at the bottom of the homepage.
Great.
Bottom right homepage. There's just click on the link and it'll bring it right up for them.
Awesome. That's fabulous. Well, we're going to take a little short break here and do our little commercial, and then we're going to come back and we're going to dive even more into the Arizona Tax Credit Program with Miss Amy Brown here. So don't go away, because we'll be right back.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
When the city lights fade, our lights get brighter. When your night needs life, ours comes alive. When you want to do something different, we say, come out and play. Come experience the new Mountain Springs Buffet. All you can eat starting at just $7.
Cliff Castle Casino Hotel, voted #1 casino in Arizona 15 years in a row.
At Gettles High Desert Mechanical, rather than do lots of things, we focus on doing one thing right. We serve climate-challenged people. Gettles starts with a free system evaluation to identify the best AC and heating equipment for your home or business. Professional installation, warranties, and service after the sale. If you're climate-challenged, then we're the right choice. Gettles High Desert Mechanical, the name to trust.
And welcome back. I'm here with Amy Brown, who is the chair of the Cottonwood Chamber of Commerce Board, also a financial advisor for Edward Jones. And we have been talking about the Arizona State Tax Credit Program, which is absolutely amazing. And now we're going to get into it even a little more intimately. We're going to talk about the different sections. So section number 1 is the Working Poor Tax Credit, which has such a weird name.
It really does. Yes, it
But
does.
what that includes is things like Big Brothers Big Sisters, which is a wonderful program that I was a part of for years. It's really great. And the Bread of Life Mission and Camp Soaring Eagle, this is where your tax dollars can go to. I mean, there's a list of, wow, there's almost 60 or 80 of these wonderful organizations. And you can find this list at cottonwoodchamberaz.org. Take a look. A lot of these folks I've seen, and I was just at a wonderful party for the Chamber, the Verde Valley Senior Center. They're on the list. You know, these dollars go to help folks get a new stove for their kitchen, help the air conditioning get fixed, or new windows or doors. It's all very, very important stuff. And by designating your tax dollars to any one of these specific organizations, you can help with that. And that's got to feel good. Oh yeah, the Senior Center's got a new door, and I helped with that.
That's
you
right.
know, and so it's an amazing list. Yes, the ARC. You've got Habitat for Humanity, Hearts for the Hungry, the Old Town Mission. I mean, go online and check this out. There's so many great ways you can help, just alone in the Working Poor Tax Credit. And then if you move on to the public school tax credit, this is where it gets really interesting. Now, Amy, tell us a little bit about how this one specifically works.
So the public school tax credit, individuals can actually designate which program they would like their dollars to go to. And I would suggest that, you know, if there's a school on this list that they're interested in donating to, that they talk to the specific school and ask how they can designate their money, or do they just, you know, can it just go into a general fund for tax credit? And so check with the individual schools.
Right. So that's amazing. If I pick one of these schools, which there's a large list, there's Cottonwood Middle School, Dr. Daniel Bright, there's Desert Star, Oak Creek Preschool, Verde Valley Montessori, there's all kinds of wonderful things here, American Heritage Academy. If I pick one of those schools and I say, I want all that money to go to your music program, I can do that.
If music is one of their programs, absolutely.
That's great.
Or sports, you can designate sports.
That's a big one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
huge.
For sure. That's amazing, and that separates the public school tax credit a little bit from the other ones, being that you can choose where your money is going to go within that program.
Mm-hmm.
As far as the school's curriculum, you want to support, say, English or art or literature or something like that. You can say, hey, you know, my money's going to go to this. It's great. There's a lot of choice there. And to communicate with your school, which if you're a parent of a kid in that school, you know, you already got to be there anyway. So that's truly amazing. I know when our school needed another building, that's where the tax credit's been going for the past couple of years. They needed a building so they could expand the school to house 7th and 8th graders, which they're now doing as the school is expanding. And I've really noticed in the past 5 years for just the school that we've been going to, and I've watched the tax program build because I've been a part of that, and to see where the school has been able to go because of the contributions from the tax credit. That's just mind-blowing. You know, it's already spent money. You might as well have it be spent on somebody in your community.
Keep it
that
local.
Needs it. Keep it local.
Keep it
yes,
local.
As always, keep everything local. Then there's also an Arizona Military Family Relief Fund tax credit. Now that's amazing. I'd never heard of that one. What can you tell us about that one?
I hadn't heard of it either until we kind of started this this process. There is more information on this great little flyer here. There's a website that folks can go to get more information, and that's, may I give it?
Yes, please.
It's www.d like David, V like Victor, S like Sam, .az.gov.
Right, that's a long, funky one,
yes.
I admit. But you can go to cottonwoodchamberaz.org and you'll see it. It's on the bottom.
Yes, that's right.
It's one of the last ones. It's called the Arizona Military Family Relief Fund Tax Credit. And your support here will go to Arizona military families in need, which is great because we all know 1 or 2 or 3 of those.
Right. And it's administered by the Arizona Department of Veterans Services. So
wow.
So
hands-on, because the veterans are taking care of that. That's great. And a shout-out, thank you to all our veterans.
Yes, thank you.
And here's a way you can thank your veterans, because you can have your tax dollars go to the Arizona Military Family Relief Fund. That's amazing.
A little different in that there is a form that will need to be printed out off the website, filled out, and then mailed in with your check. And so the address and everything is on the form that we've been talking about.
On the amazing Cottonwood Chamber of Commerce form. Whoever put this together, thank you so much. We bow to you. This is an amazing, beautifully laid out, very informative little flyer that you guys have on your website there. And thank you to the Chamber of Commerce.
You bet.
You guys are so great.
Thank you. Thank you. The Chamber is it's a great organization, and we have a lot of great businesses here in our community, and so it's fun to be a part of the Chamber.
Yeah, we've been a part of the Chamber at Larry's Antiques for many years now. We go to a lot of the functions, and I love how much it helps the community. I love going to the functions and seeing the community.
Right.
We were just at the dance. My daughter and I were dancing at the holiday party, and that was so much fun. And just all the good that the Chamber does and keeping the community strong and together. It's a wonderful organization. So check them out. If you've got a business in town, you want to join the Cottonwood Chamber of Commerce. And of course, as far as tax credit goes, I hope that we've helped you out here. I know it's helped me out a lot. Amy, thank you so much for all this amazing information. Really, we could keep talking about this. It gets to a point, it's like taxes. But this way, you know, you have the power to dictate where your tax dollars are going to go. They're already spent. Have them go somewhere in your community that's going to count. So go to Cottonwood Chamber. Wow, I got to look at this one again because it's weird. CottonwoodChamberaz.org. Check it out. Talk to your financial advisor. Get it all squared away, and then you don't have to worry about it.
And your tax professional, too.
Yes, definitely. Don't talk to me about it. Don't call me at the grocery store. Hey, what do I do? Yeah. Talk to your tax professional, which I am not. Amy Brown, thank you so much for being here today.
Pleasure. Thank you for having me.
I really appreciate it. Oh, it's been awesome. And we've got lots more of the Verde Valley Experience coming up, so don't go away.
You make me wear my bike helmet. Taught me never to run with scissors.
You tell me to stay away from drugs.
To always buckle my seatbelt.
And to follow the swimming rules.
You're always looking out for me and trying to keep me safe.
So why do you keep a loaded gun in your drawer?
Here in the garage.
Closet. Shoebox under the bed.
Where anyone can get to it.
How safe is that?
How safe is that?
How safe is that?
You asked them to follow some safety rules. Now they're asking you. In fact, they're counting on you. Never let your gun get into the wrong hands. If you own a firearm and are not using it, please be responsible and be sure that it's stored in a safe place. Remember, always lock it up. For more information on firearm storage safety, visit ncpc.org.
Huntington! Every proper bear knows that the right fit means everything. Especially when it comes to car seats.
Oh, really? I just did what any bear would do.
So know for sure that your child is in the right car seat for their age and size.
I like it.
To learn more, visit safercar.gov/the right seat.
Oh, hello there.
Oh, where's that bear?
Welcome back to the Verde Valley Experience. We are now at the home of Phoebe Aromatics, and we are talking to Claire Leisher. Claire, thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome.
Thank you. An amazing studio. All the equipment that's going on around us is so cool. The reason why we're here is to talk about aromatherapy and essential oils and the process of how you come about an essential oil. It's very, very fascinating. But first, let's get a little background. How did you get involved in distilling? She's a distiller. Ooh, doesn't that sound cool?
Well, my husband and I started distilling in 2005, and it was after about almost 10 years of having a conversation about the medicinal plants that are in the Southwest, many of which are extremely aromatic, but we never saw any of these in any aromatherapy collections. And so we talked about this for years, and then we finally took a weekend workshop on aromatherapy, and we got so inspired that we bought a small copper distiller. And we started experimenting with that and going out and wild crafting native plants. And maybe after about 2 years of working with that unit, there were some limitations because of the size. You need to have a much larger unit if you wanted to distill any conifers or junipers. And we have 7 native junipers in Arizona, and several different firs and pines and spruces. And we really wanted to be able to experiment with these plants. So we bought a larger distiller, this one right here, and have been working with that for about the last 8 years.
Yeah, it's really a beautiful piece of equipment, and to watch everything drip and the oil collect. Tell us what's happening right now, and this thing has a really cool name, which I've forgotten. So tell us a little bit about the machine.
Okay. Back here is a steam generator, and there's a hose that connects it to this piece, which is called the retort.
Okay.
This retort is full of plant material. It's a 55-gallon stainless steel drum.
Sure.
And it takes some time for the steam to work its way up through the plant material, but when it does, then the steam goes from this tube into this condenser, and there are 3 cold water coils that are constantly circulating cold water through there. And as soon as the steam hits this chamber, it condenses into what we call distillate then. And because the essential oils or oil and water don't mix, and oils tend to be lighter than water, they float. The oil floats on top of this water portion of the process, which is called a hydrosol.
And you can see it. It's a really neat process. That is way too cool. So that drum is packed with, right now, did you say pinon?
With pinyon pine.
It's stuffed in there. And you go out and you sustainably harvest.
Yes.
We're very ecologically minded, collecting things to do what's called wild crafting.
Yes.
Now there's also cultivated
Yes.
Essential oils as well, but very few. I think you're the only place I've heard of that does wild crafting. I mean, that's really interesting.
Well, there are some other distillers that wild craft. To date, we have distilled 69 different species of mostly native plants.
Wow, that's really neat.
So, and each one is different in terms of its yield, and that yield changes according to climatic conditions, location. There are many different environmental factors that can change your yield or even the chemical composition of the essential oils.
That makes sense. I bet things are smelling a little different depending on the time of year, perhaps winter versus
the
summer.
time of year, what the weather condition has been. One example is that we once gathered a distiller load's worth of white fir, and the weather had been very cold and rainy. And we brought it back here, we distilled it, and we got 2 ounces of essential oil.
Wow.
And then we went back 1 week later after we had had a period of sunshine and warm weather, no wind whatsoever. We collected another load, came back and distilled it, and got 9 ounces of essential oil.
That's a big difference. You think a 50-gallon drum full of stuff makes 2 ounces of oil. I mean, that's a lot of work for such a wonderful, wonderful product. Now, what are the purposes for using an essential oil? What will they do for us?
Well, there are lots of different purposes. Some people like them just for their perfume quality. Some people like them for their medicinal qualities. You could use them for cleaning. I mean, really, there are lots of different uses, and there are lots of different applications. You can put them in a diffuser so that the aroma fills the room, and that could be used just for perfume, or it could be used to say you had a cold, and you were wanting something to just help decongest you. You know, you might use one of the pine oils. And so that way you're just inhaling a tiny amount of it, and it has a beneficial effect. Then people use them topically. You can dilute them in a carrier oil, and they're very soothing. You can put some of them in the bath. Some of them are very healing for the skin.
Nice.
Many different uses.
That's great. I wish you were here, or this was smell-o-vision, because it smells so wonderful. Because I'm so calm in here. It's just delicious in here, I have to say. And one of the things you mentioned real quick, the hydrosol, which is the byproduct of the oil, is also useful. That's another product. So that's really
the
interesting.
hydrosol contains the water-soluble constituents of the plants. So it's like a very strong tea, and it also contains a little bit of emulsified essential oil. So you can see, you know, it's very slightly opaque.
That's true. That's true. And that's wonderful. So you're using 100% of the plant, basically. You're getting the full effect out of it. And so you know, to be on the lookout, Claire is writing a book. Tell us the title of the book that you're writing at the moment.
It's Native Essential Oils of the Southwest.
Great. Everything you're ever going to want to know about native essential oils of the Southwest and all the neat plants that are here. Thank you for what you're doing, Claire. It's awesome, really. I wish you could smell it in here. It's amazing. Claire Leisher, everyone. Phoebe Aromatics, thank you for letting us into your home and into your distillery. I love that. You can say you're a distiller and it's okay. That's awesome.
An essential oil distiller.
Oh, we have to be so specific. Well, thank you so much for having us here. We appreciate it. And don't go away, because there's lots more Verde Valley experience coming up.
Thank you.
College is hard. Down. Those books are heavy.
My sport is football, but my passion is education.
So every year I take promising high schoolers on a college tour to show them that higher education means a brighter future. My name is Nnamdi Asamoah. I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
You can be a reader, tutor, or mentor too. Take the pledge at liveunited.org/volunteer.
Do you wear this?
Get your ass suit. You're not sitting here. Yes, I am. Move. Off here. Give it to him hard.
No.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Why you stabbing me with it? No.
They want to help,
Ow.
but don't know how. Teach your kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
I'm a teacher. Let me tell you what I make. I make learning a privilege, not a chore. And frustration, a tool, not an obstacle. I make working hard seem easy and giving up impossible. I make an old subject feel like a fresh thought and unconventional methods common. I'm a teacher. I make more.
Was wonderful. Thank you for singing my favorite Christmas song in the whole world. I really appreciate that. That was gorgeous. All right, the Verde Valley Voices, everyone. We have the lovely Nancy Bright on piano. The lovely Caleb Nahira, who is the, wow, I got to look at the master of choral conducting. The musical director, the conductor extraordinaire of the Verde Valley Voices. Thank you for joining us today.
Glad to be here.
And this is exciting because you're about to start your rehearsals for your spring concert.
Yes, we begin January 13th. It's Tuesday, and we go at 6:30 at the Mountain View United Methodist Church, and that's the one on at 901 12th Street.
On 12th Street.
Yes.
Okay, and that's January
13th.
13th, January 13th on 12th Street. You got to be there. That's when the rehearsals are going to be starting. That's awesome. And you're relatively new to the Verde Valley Voices, is that correct?
Yeah, I just finished like 4 months or so with them. I just got hired back in April. And then started with them on their new season this year back in September.
Very nice. Well, welcome.
Yeah,
welcome. I love it. It's so wonderful watching a conductor. Who's so smooth, and it's just a lot of fun. I don't know how you do that. I definitely appreciate it. I appreciate all of you guys. I loved all the layers of harmony, especially you guys back there. Yeah, Jake and Dale. I really enjoyed how that sounds. The men singing under the sopranos of the women. That's really fun. And you guys look so great too. I love it. Everybody stands up straight. That's so fun. And big smiles, Gail. Everybody's got a big smile. Now, I know, Linda, you wanted to share a little story about the Verde Valley Voices in your experience.
Well, 4 years ago, my husband and I moved to Cottonwood, and we didn't know a soul, not a soul in the Verde Valley. And we saw the ad for auditions in the newspaper, so we thought, well, let's just give that a try. So we went over there, and the next thing we know, we're singing with the Verde Valley Voices, and we've been doing that for about 4 years. And I just want to say to the people out there who are new to the area or are feeling lonely this holiday season, to remember that we are a family. We've made a ton of friends in the Voices, and we've been so happy here, so we just hope you'll come and join us.
That's really sweet. Thank you so much for that. That is really, really sweet. Now, you guys currently have over 80 members, is that correct? Yeah. That's great. And I heard at one point you were up to 100 even.
25.
125. Geez, we have less than 1/10 of you guys in here now, and listen how good you sound. Imagine many more. That's really wonderful. And how long have you been playing piano now? All your whole life?
Oh yes.
Oh, your whole. How long have you been,
years.
Nancy, with the program?
I've been with the group, probably 14, 15 years.
14, 15 years. Wow. That's great. Since you've been 15 years old, you've been playing the piano for the Verde Valley Voices. That's really amazing. Now, you guys are going to sing us another holiday tune. Which one are you going to sing next?
Deck the Hall.
Deck the Halls. That's a really great one. See, there isn't a not good Christmas song. We were discussing this earlier, how there's so many really good Christmas songs, and they always make you feel good. And this is wonderful because this is basically our unofficial holiday edition of the Verde Valley Experience. So we get to wish everybody a happy holidays from all of us at the Verde Valley Experience and from the Verde Valley Voices. Make sure you get in and check those guys out. Get yourself down to the rehearsals for the spring concert. Make your voice be heard. It's a wonderful family, I can tell just by looking at them all. You guys are all so wonderful. Thank you all so much for being on the show today. Caleb, congratulations on your position.
Thank you.
I have no doubts you'll be splendid. We'll see you for many, many more years. So awesome. So the Verde Valley Voices, everyone, please make sure to check them out. Definitely go to their spring concert. And if you have any desire to sing, you definitely want to go to their website, verdevalleyvoices.org. Get involved in your community and let your voice be heard. This is the way to do it. And thank you so much for watching the Verde Valley Experience. We'll see you soon. Thank you.